Put your hands together for the lovely Sarah Pearl.
What up, y'all? How's it going? What a nice crowd tonight. I'm so glad you guys are here. This is one of my last times performing here in Springfield, so I'm really happy to be able to do it for you guys, so thanks for being here for it. My name is Sarah Pearl. I was gifted with a really easy name to remember. It's just Sarah is in God's princess, and Pearl is in the kind of necklace the guy who really cares about you leaves on your chest. Jewelry is my favorite. Valentine's Day is coming. My whole life, my name has been just all one word, Sarah Pearl. So that's really convenient when somebody walks into a bar and they shout out, Sarah Pearl, and it distinguishes me from the 50 other Sarahs in the room. Not so convenient when I'm walking around downtown with weed in my purse and there's police everywhere. Like, do we have to first and last name this right now? What do you want, my address, my driver's license? Just give it to the cops. Let's just cut this short. Let's just cut to the chase. Literally. I work out much better that way. I am also, in addition to performing stand-up, I am also a musician, but I like this way better because instead of having to carry in a bunch of instruments and things, all I have to load in is the crippling self-loathing and depression that it takes to do this. My New Year's resolution, I gave up drinking. Long enough for the bruises from the last time I got drunk to go away. See, yeah, but I'm a fast healer, so it's not gonna last very long, it's all right. But I love whiskey. Is anybody else with me on that? Yeah, am I drinking whiskey? Yeah, we love it. Things that I don't love about drinking whiskey include, but are not limited to, the whiskey shakes. If you guys have had those before, I mean, as a woman, I have to put on makeup, and with eyeliner and mascara and lipstick, when you've got the whiskey shakes, you end up looking like that crazy lady at the bus station who's very loudly offering $10 blowjobs. Not the look I'm going for. I also don't miss the whiskey farts. I think personally that they're just all the shame and regret from the night before, just violently leaving your body. And it always happens at the least opportune time. Like when you're in the shower and the glass doors are shut, it's really humid because the water's really hot, and you're singing and you're breathing deeply and your mouth is open. And they're the kind of farts that settle in between your teeth. You feel like you have to floss. So bad. Needless to say, I am single. Single and ready to fucking punch the next person in the face who asks me if I want to mingle. Not doing it. I have a lot of married friends and they're worried about me. I had one friend ask me if I had tried online dating yet. And when I say that, it's an encouraging suggestion. But when she said it, it was with concern and pity, I'm at the end of the road. Bitch, I'm only 28. My uterus does not look like the Crypt Keeper's face yet. If I accidentally queef, it's not like you dropped a bag of powdered sugar in the grocery store. Just. Leaving that for the cart guy to clean up. I don't get paid enough for that. The thing I hate the most about online dating is the section where you have to fill out, they ask you what your body type is. And I always go with athletic because I've heard that so many times throughout my life. Oh, you have such an athletic build, you look like you used to be an athlete. Which I think is just a socially acceptable way to comment publicly on how broad my shoulders are. I mean, I know it's different, sometimes other people don't see the insecurities or get them. It's been a problem for me my whole life. When I was born, I just came barreling out of my mom's vagina like a linebacker. I just tore that pussy up. She was at a show once and she listened to that joke. I went back to my chair and this guy was like, you do have really broad shoulders. She goes, oh, let me tell you, 4th degree tears. Mom. I had a guy once ask me if I had ever been a swimmer before. I said, no, I just do a really convincing tuck job. I went to get a massage from a woman who came really highly recommended to me from a lot of friends. And I carry all of my tension and my stress in my upper back, so she's working it. And I think she broke every rule in the massage therapist handbook when she said, "You have really masculine shoulders." I was pissed off. So I just waited a second. "You think those are masculine? You should see my dick." I have never felt fear through the fingertips of a human being before the way that I did that day. But you guys, there are a lot of perks to being single. One of them is getting to hear the pickup lines that people come up with. I don't even know how they do this. Like, that's a nice thing for me is I don't have to use them. I just go, "Who wants my pussy?" And I find out. The fact that you're laughing at that means you don't. But this guy once very earnestly, very genuinely put his hands on my shoulders and he looked me in the eye and he said, "Sarah, I would gladly slam a condom into you." And I don't know what he was expecting, if he thought that was going to work. I think he was mostly just expecting protected sex. But I was really taken aback, because it was kind of one of the nicer things I'd heard in a really long time. If you dissect that statement, he said, "I would gladly." He could have said, drunkenly, unwillingly, flaccidly. He said gladly, to my credit. Slam a condom into you. That means he cares enough about my health and well-being that he will put a condom on before he just slams it right in there. Either that or he does not trust my cooter, but we're gonna stick with the complimentary route. Apparently neither do any of you. You shouldn't, that's a good idea. Another perk of being single is that I can be wherever, not in general, just in my house, wherever in my house, whenever I want to, and masturbate with like no fear of that awkward moment when somebody comes home and catches you and they're like, "What am I doing wrong? Why are you doing this to yourself?" Instead, I can just be fluffing the muffin, just playing the clitor until the early morning lights, and sometimes just spanking the skunk guts with no fear and no shame whatsoever. But that's all changing soon, because really soon here in about a few weeks I'm moving back in with my mother. That would be a horrible scenario to come into, or come on, I don't know. She, it's not all bad. Like, it is, don't get me wrong, it's gonna suck. But it's not all bad. She does my laundry, and she even like folds my thongs, which I didn't know was possible. I thought it was like a fitted sheet. Like, how does she found a way. She's broken down to hangovers now because my little sister lived with her for a while, and so when I'm hungover, she comes in with a tray with like water and coffee and some Advil, and she's like, "Oh baby, do you feel like shit? It's okay, mama's here." Just pats my head. But I think one of my favorite things is that she gets like one beer trashed. She just gets hashtag white mom wasted. And she talks about re-entering the dating scene. She's like, "I'm really out of practice, Sarah." And I was like, "Don't worry, Mom. Re-entering the dating scene is just like performing stand-up comedy. When you first start, you don't know what to say. You can't practice at home by yourself. You get that nervous flop sweat about the performance. All your friends, when you first start doing it, afterwards, they're like, 'Great job, keep coming out, it gets better.' When you get halfway decent at it, you have a thing that's shaped like this, in and around your mouth space on a regular basis, while full well knowing that at least dozens of people have spit on it before you. And at the end of the whole song and dance, we're just looking to get fucked. But quite honestly, Mom, you have a way better chance at that than I do, because I talk about my whiskey farts on stage. You'll be fine." The last relationship that I was in, it was with an older guy. He was 11 years older than I am, which technically means he's old enough to be my dad if he was like the world's coolest 11-year-old. He told me when he has an orgasm, it's like somebody stepped on a baby powder container, just He has like health insurance and a 401k, and I have 2 part-time jobs. So he's got a bunch of benefits, and all I have are drawbacks. So, needless to say, it didn't work out. But even though I don't have the older guy game on lock, I do have the younger guy game on lock. Clap your hands out there if you've ever seen a baby boner before. Damien's just clapping and looking at his own. It's fine. But don't worry, it doesn't make you a pedophile, apparently. I'm not on a list anywhere, so I'm assuming that's true. At least not that I know of. I was babysitting once in high school, and this little kid brought a whole new meaning to baby fat when he just boop, popped a chubby. And I was taught to wait from to back. I'm pretty good at it, so I don't know what went so horribly wrong. And so I just immediately threw my hands up, just hand check, hands up, don't shoot. And I called my mom and I was freaking out. She said, "Don't worry, honey, baby boners happen all the time." I was like, "Really? Do they?" Like, I think she just told me that to make me feel better. And meanwhile, all these years I've just been bopping around this planet like, baby boners are normal, they happen all the time. But it worked out okay because, changing tables are really flat. And at least if he goes to roll off, it's kind of like having a ballpoint pen with a cap on it. Like, at least something's gonna stop him. Like a kickstand. No SIDS for that kid. He's not rolling over and suffocating in his sleep anytime soon. Thanks to me. I'm a hero. I'm gonna be a great mom someday. Maybe. One way I advocate of not becoming a great mom, I will leave you guys with this, is by having phone sex instead. Clap your hands if you've ever had phone sex before. Yeah? Yeah. You whose name I'm not going to say because that's embarrassing. What's your best advice for phone sex?
Cross something off your bucket list here in a couple days.
Sounds. Sound? Yeah, sure.
Sounds, just noises, just I imagine that's what it's like. No, it turns out I'm really, 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 really bad at it. Like, I get really nervous and I say things and stuff. Like, "Oh, baby, you walked in and things and stuff happened." You're really awkward and I say touch way too many times. Like, "Oh, baby, you were touching me and I was touching you and your things were touching my stuff." And it just turns into a really bad rendition of a Neil Diamond song. Nobody wants to hear my sexual cover of that. I just know that it would be so much better if I could stay in the moment and just say what I was really thinking, if I were that comfortable. I'd probably go a little something like this. Like, "Oh, I can't wait to meet your mom. Make it so hard for me to stop thinking about our kids' names. I've been practicing my signature with your last name and it's so smooth. I just want to wake up next to you at 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Stop by the antique store on the way to the farmer's market to pick up some kale. Oh, baby! You just make me want to stop taking my birth control." That's my time for tonight. You guys have been fantastic. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much.